What you need to know about our new hybrid working environment. Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. Well before the pandemic happened, we had people that did not work out of this office here at Array Digital. They lived and worked somewhere else, and we rarely saw them. But most of these people started off working out of our office or working in the area, and then they moved. And when they moved, they were good people that we wanted to keep. And so we entered into a remote agreement. But remote was really the exception going into the pandemic. Maybe maybe a quarter of our employees were remote. Everyone else was expected to report to duty every day at the office. Now, granted, there were opportunities to work from home if you needed to, if you had a doctor's appointment, whatever. But by default, you worked out of the office, and most people worked out of the office every day. Well, once the pandemic hit, we were all working remote, and we still needed to hire people, but we realized there's no reason that we need to hire local people if they're going to work remote. Like, what's the difference? We're all working remote now. Every one of our meetings is over Google Meet. It's a video meeting. So this person could be anywhere, but we actually did want them to be relatively close to where we are geographically, or at least time zone wise. Because if they're, like, say, in Hawaii, the time zones are so far off that it's going to be difficult for them to work us into their normal day. So we want someone that's on the East Coast, Central Time Zone, so that just naturally the time zones align really, really close, and it's not a big effort. So we've been hiring people that are out of the area, but we've also been hiring people that are in the area. Now that the pandemic is receding very, very quickly, we have reopened our office, and we have what we call a hybrid work environment. So to quickly explain that, we have four dedicated office spaces, a small office, 12 by 12 or so, with a door that locks. It's yours. You keep your stuff in there. Those are for the people that raised their hands and said, I'm going to be in the office every single day. Now, we asked all the local people if they wanted to work out of the office full time or not. The ones that raised their hands, it turns out, was the leadership team. So me, Kevin, and then Erik Thomas, who runs Rival Digital. So we're the three that are working exclusively out of the office. The fourth office right now is it's kind of up for grabs for the next person that says, I'm going to work full time. But Austin's in there, and but it's not his office really, because he is one of our hybrid employees. So he comes in on a regular basis almost every day, but he only works about a half day here, and then he goes home and he works the other half at home. That's the arrangement that he prefers. It works for him. We're okay with it. But because of that, the occasionality, if you will, of him being in the office, we're not going to dedicate resources to him the same way that we will for Erik. Erik works here every single day. He gets a dedicated office with his name on the door. Austin does it. He just happens to be camping out there because there's an extra office. But anyone really could use that office at this point. Glenn is the same way. He works out of his house mostly. Shannon works out of her house almost all the time, and she comes in once a week, once every 2 weeks for a couple of hours. Those folks that say they'll come in occasionally, they won't get a dedicated office, but they will have desk space here. So we're going to have several desks, 2 or 3 desks, 4 desks maybe, in the main area that anyone can grab and work from. You don't need to reserve it. It's first come, first serve. But also, if you're an occasional employee, don't leave your stuff like laying around. That's not your desk, right? So take your stuff with you. And then the third group of people, local folks, are the remote only people. So we do have at least one. No, we're gonna have 2. We have one right now. We're hiring another one. Local folks who are going to work remotely full time. Those people won't have even access to the office. There's no reason to give them a key for them to ever come into the office unless someone else is here. So they won't even have access to the office unless others are working here. So they'll be here when others are here, and then they'll be out before others leave. So that is what we've concluded for our hybrid work environment. It's great actually from a company perspective, because we don't need to prioritize getting more and more and more office space as we grow. As a matter of fact, the office space should not change for a long time, because we're prioritizing hiring people anywhere, not just in our local market. So the chances of them being in this local market, very small compared to them being anywhere on the East Coast or in the Central Time Zone. So I anticipate more and more people will be becoming employees that aren't here than are here. So this office space should last us a good long time. But then again, we are on a journey to $100 million, and that's going to require a lot of leadership, a lot of, if you will, like admin staff, centralized staff. Those folks, certainly the more important you are to the organization, the more likely it is you're going to be here working out of this office every single day.
Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, Million Dollar Journey: How to Launch a Seven-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing a $1 million business. It took me 8 years, and I made a lot of mistakes. And all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you can apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1 Million Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.